What's going on, YouTube? A-Town Morphotronics here. About to do a little interview on one of the most upcoming pros coming to you live at A-Town's crib. We got Matt Williamson.
What's up, guys?
He played in YCS, did pretty damn good, and he is one of the pro players around here in Orlando, next to Juan. Y'all know who Juan is. He made second place on YCS. Let's get down to the questions, man.
Yo, just so you guys know real quick, Juan Morales, me and him, really good friends. We're actually starting a main team together. It's Morales and Williamson. We call it Modern Warfare. Just so y'all know, keep that. We'll be at Nats together. We'll probably have our shirts made already. We have one of our friends working on it. So,
and I'll definitely have the coverage on that one, on upcoming team, what kind of stuff they're doing, duels and shit like that. So let's go on with the questions. What kind of deck do you play?
I run plants. I've been running plants since the Lightsworn format, so I'm talking about like when plants were bad, when Crosses of Chaos came out. I was just getting back into the game when my good friends Nate told me to run the deck because I was running Warriors before I quit, and he said plants were really good, and after reading the cards and seeing everything, I agreed. It's just they needed some more support, which we finally got.
Hell yeah, too much support if you ask me, man. But let's go ahead and find, why do you play the deck? Why plants? Why of all archetypes? Well, at the time, not now.
When I first started the deck, I just felt like it was a good anti-meta control to Lightsworns. I think at the time I was playing Black Garden, it was more of a control variant. Black Garden it stopped everything they could do with the Polynosis and the Triple Solemn Judgment and Cyber Valleys. I just felt like it had a lot of control to stop, everything they could do, especially with Celestia being so damn powerful back in the day. I think getting a Titanial out with a bunch of plant tokens with Polynosis and stuff, you could stop the JD and then stop the Celestia play with Titanial's effect. I thought it was really good. And Botanical Lion, MVP back then. You'd set it with 2,000 defense and swing into it, and then he'd still be at 19, and then you'd have a bunch of tokens on the field, so you'd be like 2,500 and just destroy.
Damn, that definitely sounds like a good deck back in that day. Probably be very competitive now. Let's get into YCS. When you came in there, how did you feel when walking up in that building?
I playtested a lot for YCS Orlando, and I've been running plants for so long, I felt like I was going to do really well. A couple of weeks before, we had regionals Orlando, and I made top 4 there. So, that's obviously boosted my confidence up. I went to YCS Anaheim. I tried running Geminis, and the deck was good. I made day 2, but I just didn't do as well as I wanted to. I didn't think the deck had enough outs to anything. Yeah. So I wound up actually building plants right when the event was over, and went right back to home and just dominated everybody, and I felt good about it.
I know it feels good to dominate people. Yeah. So while you were in YCS, it looks like you're pretty damn well. You had your own feature match, and you went to day 2. What was your standings?
I ranked 54th after everything was said and done. I was 7-3. I was actually 7-1 after day 1, so I was X-1 going into day 2. But I got into a little trouble my round 9. I was playing Paul Leviton, one of the good, one of the great Yugioh pros, and it was game 3. He was at 1600. We were in time. A judge was watching our match, and I had Lila, Trishula, and Falsadine on the field, and he had a face-up Treeborn, a face-out monster, and that was it. I was about to attack for game, and then some kid that was watching our match screamed out that I didn't know for Lila last turn, which I forgot. It was heat of the moment. I completely misplayed and forgot to mill for Lila. Yeah. And then we already had a double warning that game for something else. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But so the judge listened to the spectator, and he said that we both lost. Get double game loss. We didn't go to a 4th game like UDE procedures or the Konami procedures. We both lost. So we both X2, and then I played my worst matchup, Glider Beast, the very last round, which I didn't see all day. Yeah. I played the Glider Beast, and it was game 4. He had Cyber Dragon on the field, and he ripped Mirror Force with D-Fisher on the field, and then from there, he rips Proving Ground the very next turn, and I just couldn't recover. So I lost game 3 like to the GB guy. So I mean, shout out to that guy. He made top 16 or top 8 with the deck too. So I mean, he's good.
Yeah, man. Gladiator Beast is still doing it, man. Even though nobody plays them, they're starting to come with that comeback. Yeah. But tell me about your feature match. We saw it over there on YugiohCards.com on the blog site. Yeah. He was playing against this one black wing guy. How did that go?
I mean, it was a pretty easy matchup for me. I mean, no disrespect to Jonathan, who I played against. That guy was really good. He's topped quite a few times, and he had a really good deck. It's just his deck is more, you know, one-on-one destruction and just stopping, you know, outs for every turn. The problem with my deck is my deck has multiple outs and I can do more than one thing in one turn. So he just didn't have enough answers. So I just waited until I had everything to explode. I used everything in one turn and made him waste all his resources. I mean, and then he decided to skill drain, and plants just do really well under skill drain. The Dandelion and the Lone Fire Blossom with Tomato, Sangan. Yep. So I mean, it was just overall, you know, it was a bad matchup for him. I give him props. He made top 8. You know, he did better than me. So I can't hate on him. No, he did really well. I actually talked to him after the event was actually over. He's actually mad cool. So props to him.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, let's go ahead and talk about your deck features, man, because we know that you play plants. But what kind of variant of plants are you really running at this time?
I was running Chaos Plants for the event. I think a lot of people at this point are running Chaos Plants. I was running it since Chaos Plants actually first came out, when everyone was still running the Quick Draw variant. I was actually on top of the game. I was running it, and I topped an event with it, and I was actually really happy with it. I just think Chaos Sorcerer is one of the best cards in the game right now. Obviously, Samurai's being so popular, Shein is just, I mean, Chaos Sorcerer is just a one card out to him. I hate some decks that have to use multiple cards, like Deprison, Chain Compulse, or like you're losing too much advantage. I'd rather just blow up the field with Debris Dragon, or I'd rather just remove it with Sorcerer, to be completely honest with you. I think Sorcerer's retarded, and now it being at 3, and it went out for YCS, I was running 3. It was just too good. It was just too good, and then it allowed me to run, you know, Tragodia and all these broken cards, and I just feel like the synergy of the deck was just amazing.
Of course it was. 3 Chaos Sorcerers. Konami done fucked up this time. Let's take a look. What are the features of your deck? What is your favorite cards out the deck? Explain for the new guys, or for the pros that want to know some, you know, tips and stuff like that. What you got for us today?
I mean, I'm not going to tell exactly what version I'm running. I just have a few cards here that I think are really good. I think Jeff Jones is onto something. I did test this build a little bit. It's really good. You got Tour Guide. I actually think this card's amazing. A lot of people say, oh, it can only grab the Sangan, but what does Tomato do for you? It does the same exact thing, except this is faster.
First turn, why not?
Yeah, so I mean, you have to attack into the Sangan. The tomato can get blown up, anything. This guy it grabs the Sangan, and I mean, you go from there. Yeah, you can't sync with the Sangan, but that's fine. There's like in my version, I ran Caius and an enemy controller. There's so many ways to get Sangan off the field, and at the end of the day, if they want to kill you, they're gonna have to attack the Sangan. So I mean, they're gonna have to choose. So I mean, I don't see why not. So I really love the Tour Guide. It's really good. Yeah, shout outs to Jeff Jones for running that YCS. Yeah. Other good cards. I still think Titanium after YCS Orlando, that card's made a big comeback.
Big old beater, huh?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you draw her, it hurts, but I mean, you can get over that fact. She's just too good not to play, at least in this current format. Runs over Shein, run over Stardust, and then it protects you from the D-Prisons and the Compulses and, you know, the Chaos Sorcerers, all that nonsense. So, I mean, I think she's really good. Going into the new format with Hyper Librarian coming out.
Hyper Librarian?
Obviously, you know, Doppel decks will be good. I'm testing one right now myself, and I mean, A-Town can vouch for you. It's pretty retarded.
This shit's getting hit. I'm telling you, man. This shit's getting hit.
I mean, this guy is so, like, this guy, compared with Junk Synchron and everything, it's just too good.
Ask him about Canvas.
Obviously, Chaos Sorcerer. This guy's amazing. There's nothing more I can say about him. I absolutely love this card. I think you'll see an increase in play of Limit Reverse in the new one, because the deck is just so fast. You want to continue just to do that. I love this card. Another really good tech that I like right now is he just came out, Zephyros.
$30.
This guy is amazing. I mean, there's so many different plays you can do for him. Just like, I mean, a few. Like, say if you wind up like top decking the, if you top deck the 1-for-1 and you have Dandy in the grave, you can just normal Debris to bring back the Dandy, or you can go limit reverse Dandy. Do anything to get Dandy to the field, which in our deck can do easily. You just bounce Dandy back to the hand with this guy, and then you go 1-for-1 Dandy. You know, get 2 tokens, you know the combo, and then of course this guy's level 4, so if you have the glow up bulb, you can go right into Hyper Librarian, and then you can go onto the double formula and just, you know, be nasty. I was actually dueling A-Town today, and I've actually read this card very clearly, and he says bounce a card on the field. I always thought it was a monster, and I was wrong, so I was actually playing this card wrong for a while. And now I realize I can bounce my Call of the Haunted, bounce my Limit Reverse that are just sitting there dead, and I can just reuse them, which I think is retarded. So, I mean, he's a dark 16, so he's a pretty decent beater. I mean, I think this guy's just really good. I think you'll see this guy get a pretty good amount of play in plants, and I like him. I'm actually currently thinking about running him, so.
I like him too. I think he's splashable in most decks that control the graveyard.
Yeah, I mean, he's just good. I mean, balance, reback your resources. Like, another play I did today was I normal Debris. I glow bulb in the graveyard. I didn't use the effect yet. So I normal Debris to bring back Dandy, and then I bounced Debris back to my hand to bring him out, and I milled for blow up bulb and went into 8. And then I had a Stardust on the field, and then next turn I can just normal Debris again and go into Trishula if they don't hit my token. So, I mean, it's good. I like it. Card's amazing. So
it's pretty damn good, man. What else you got for us?
These aren't really techs. More techs I have. I mean, I can't reveal everything to you because I am going to Nats. So, I mean, I gotta show a little bit. But I mean, I think just my favorite thing in general, I think these are probably my 2 favorite cards in the deck, and that's Monster Reborn and Lone Blossom. Drawing these 2 together and going first, or I mean, you can even go second if you draw like, you know, one like spell or trap destruction. I mean, these 2 just, they equal so much. Like, they're just so good. Like at YCS, I was playing some Herald guy, and he he side decked on me Maxi, and I went first. I normal Lone Fire Blossom, and he's running Herald, so I normal Lone Fire Blossom, use effect, he changed Maxi. I do my whole combo. I go Lone Fire, Sport, or Dandelion, and Reborn. He draws like 8 cards. It's his turn, he has 14 cards in hand, and I'm sitting on a Shooting Star Dragon, and he has no out to it.
No out with 14 cards in your hand. Either that's a bad deck, or you just had a crazy field.
I mean, I definitely calculated it out, and the only card in the deck that could beat me was Honest. If he didn't have the Honest, there was nothing else in that deck that was going to beat my Shooting Star Dragon. Because there's nothing strong enough, there's just nothing, and then if you brought out Herald, I could just swing over it because I have 3,300 attack, so, I mean, it's just that simple.
That's some fantastic stuff right there for the plant player that's been there since the beginning of time, Matt Williamson. You'll be able to catch him up at Phoenix Games or any other place that plays cards around here in the Orlando area. And you'll definitely see him around the regional areas, other YCSs, Shonen Jumps. This motherfucker's the upcoming pro player star. So you better watch out for this fool. And I'll be there right behind him, not with that shitty ass deck, because it's too much stuff to stop it. So I'll go ahead and upload a deck profile. Well, not necessarily a deck profile, but what I'll be actually playing from now on that's more consistent. Let's just say self-fund transform into something useful. One last question though. Bandless is coming up in September. Do you think your deck is going to get hit?
I don't necessarily think my deck per se is going to get hit. I think cards revolving around my deck are going to get hit, like Librarian, possibly Formula. A few people say Pot of Avarice. I could see it going to 2. I don't see it going to 1. I think that 1 would make it just so irrelevant that the card wouldn't even be played anymore. So, I think, obviously Trishula's going to 1. We all know that, if not banned. I could really see them banning Librarian. I think he's that good. He's that good, and he just speeds up everything. So I think in my deck, yeah. I think those are the only 2 cards you can really hit, are the 3 cards you can really hit. I think hitting Lone Fire would cripple us too much. I think you're gonna do Ban Spore, Ban Globe, like, you know. I mean, maybe putting Debrito, even Debrito 1 would hurt too much. Like, I don't know. I think anything you would do would cripple it too much. I think, like, this deck wasn't retarded until like Librarian came out again. Like, I think the deck was good, but it wasn't overpowered.
Yeah.
So I think Librarian and Trishula, I think those are the 2 key cards. That's why the deck is overpowered and destructive now. And one more thing. Yeah, I should have topped YCS Orlando, whatever, judge me a bad ruling, but mark my words, I will get my first top soon. I haven't been playing too long, so I really think I have a really good shot at Nats with this deck because I know it so well and it's the best deck right now, so I mean, that's too, you know.
You heard it first right here from Matt Williamson, and you got that coverage first from A-Town Morphotronics. Stay tuned for more deck profiles, duels, and other stuff like that.
Hey, hold on, and one more thing. You see people running plants. Well, let me tell you something. My plants, everything is completely max rarity. You see this? Super Lone Fires, you know, Ultra First Ed Spanish Reborn. Look, Ultra Dark Holes, Super Book of Moons, like everything. There's really not one card that's not max rarity. Like, you didn't even go to extra deck. Look, he's on a sign by Greg Ivy, you know, shout out to Greg Ivy doing the voice that you say, you know, that's my boy now. You know, look, Ghost Shooting Stars, Dual Turn Ultra Shulas, Ulti Scrap Drag, Ulti Colossal. I actually got that free from a fan, you know what I mean? That's actually kind of cool, you know. So, I mean, it's everyone in the area. So, I mean, Dual Turn Bryonic, you know, I mean, just, I can't help it, man. I'm in love with, guys, I'm what you call a rarity horn. I absolutely love it. I can't help it. And my theory is that, you know, people say that you get stacked at big events. I think if every deck in your every card in your deck is near hollow or hollow, how can they stack that? So that's why out of a 42 card deck, 40 cards in my deck are hollow and only 2 are not hollow, and that's because they can't come hollow. So why not, right guys?
Why not? And that's exactly why I quit Morphotronics. Why not? Stay tuned for more stuff. I'll be uploading more shit later on, such as duels and things like that. A-Town Morphotronics out.